Rise of the Tomb Raider is getting a bunch of new content for the PS4. But, good news, it's all coming to Xbox One as well on the same day, which I thought was really super great. Here's the rundown. So, it's an Extreme Survivor, which is an ultra-hard difficulty level. So, okay, that's not super significant. But
yeah.
And then a new mode called Blood Ties, which is think of it as Gone Home, but in Croft Manor. So no combat. It's in first person, and you're just walking around discovering new information about Lara's family, about the Croft family.
Yeah, this is either going to be the worst or the best thing.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure which, but the potential is wonderful. I don't know if this could be like walking around Metroid checking terminals and nothing else happening, which would be awful, or it could be very Gone Home-ish or very creative, in which case this could be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this mode.
I am too.
And then a separate zombie-filled combat chapter called Lara's Nightmare, which is set in the mansion and sees Lara fighting enemies in a hellish version of her family home.
Because why not?
Why not? Why not? And then a co-op version of the endurance mode where you attempt to survive as long as possible, and you actually have to deal with warmth and hunger meters. So turning it into sort of a Rust-style survival game. Which
Can
I
you
think,
eat your co-op partner in a pinch?
Lara Croft in.
Well, it is survival.
Alive. The longer you last, the more experience you'll earn, but if you don't manage to successfully reach an extraction point and escape, you'll lose all that experience. So that sounds cool.
Just saw off a leg and carry it to the extraction point. You're all
For
good.
God's sake, we've only been in here 6 hours.
It's like, have you guys seen that Kids in the Hall sketch where they're in court after, and it's this exact thing where there was a plane, it was an airline delay, and the guy one of the guys on the plane started eating people because the plane was delayed so long, and then the judge is like, but you took a little bite out of each person. You couldn't just eat one person. So good. Look it up on YouTube.
I've never seen that.
Kids in the Hall, genius. And then the last thing here, it includes a classic polygonal Lara Croft model to play in the expedition modes, as well as a new cold weather outfit inspired by Tomb Raider 3. And there's a screenshot of
New
this.
skin, right?
Yeah, but it's like, totally anachronistic 1997 Lara in this gorgeous Xbox One, modern 2015.
I like it when they do that. They did that with Metal Gear 2. I like it when games do that. The old retro style.
Doom as well.
Yeah.
Go from the old retro level.
So, and here's the thing. Now, Destin, we don't like season passes most of the time on this show. But here's one where I have to tip my hat and say, good job to Square and to developer Crystal Dynamics, because if you purchased the season pass on Xbox One or PC for Rise of the Tomb Raider, you're getting everything I just said for free. So that's cool.
That's great.
Because that's you bought your season pass.
You got your Baba Yaga DLC.
Yeah, you got exactly.
Baba Yaga.
So all this stuff is now an additional free bonus. That is good fan service there.
Yeah, it's a nice tip of the hat to people.
That is a tip of the cap. It's going to cost, you can buy it otherwise if you don't have the season pass. We don't have the price on that yet. I reached out before the show to Square, and they did not they did not comment by press time, as the saying goes.
600 Australian dollars.
Oh, knew there was a catch.
I think it's like $3, actually.
Oh, is that? I don't know how the
That seems
Australian
accurate.
dollar is doing these days. So,
It's just so funny that all these different modes are so different from each other. You and I were talking earlier, and it sounds like Square just had all this cool tech that they didn't know what to do with, and like, well, put in Lara Croft.
Well, it takes a really long time to make a video game. These guys have been grinding through it for years and years, crunch, extended deadlines, and Baba Yaga. Maybe at this point they're just going mad.
Yeah,
it's possible.
They're just like, you know what? I just want to let's do a high concept art piece where she wanders through the house and learns about her family's troubled and dysfunctional history. That sounds great.
They started daring each other on the dev team. Like, What's the craziest?
Take out the combat and make it interesting.
What's the craziest thing you guys can do to this game and this franchise?
No combat, no weapons.
I can
all
strip
story.
out all the combat and make it first person in her house.
I love the thought that like Blood Ties turns out to be this like in a couple of weeks we don't see it coming because this pivotal moment in gaming, like where storytelling is elevated to another level, and after this we can never go back to the way games were. I really hope that's what happens.
No, you can, because then you have a zombie survivor shooter. That's fine. That's the next one.
In reality, of course, it's
That
probably
was the other end of the spectrum in the room that day.
My guess is they're prototyping ideas to work into future Tomb Raider games. They're like, well, let's see what people think of this, and then maybe we'll work little bits and
like
pieces
zombies.
of it.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
It's now in like every Call of Duty game instead of just every third Call of Duty game, right?
Yeah.
It
That
seems
was like a fun thing they did,
or
and then
it was
just
in Black
blew
Ops
up.
3, right? Yeah, Black Ops 3, because it used to be that
I learned.
it was a Treyarch
game.
thing,
Yeah,
and
right.
now it's in
and now
two of them.
Infinity Ward is the first of the 3-year dev cycle, right? Because now it's Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledge.
Wait, is it in Infinity Wards? Because it's in
Infinity Ward is the one that's coming up, right?
Infinite Warfare. Yeah.
Infinite Warfare is Infinity Ward.
Yes.
And they've confirmed it will be zombies.
Okay, and there was and it was in Black Ops 3, so that's always Treyarch. And then I guess we'll have to see if Sledgehammer does
Sledgehammer's what was Sledgehammer's?
Advanced Warfare.
Yeah,
Advanced
Advanced
Warfare,
Warfare.
thank
But
you.
I like that console shooter manufacturers and developers know their games are silly again. Also, it's kind of wonderful. There was a period where it was like Ghosts. It's like in the jungle with the blood of the mutants, and I just like forget that. And then now it's
Shut up,
like
give me
now it's
zombies.
like let's go to space. Let's fight zombies. Jeff Goldblum's a freaking wizard for some
my
reason.
God,
I don't
can't
know.
wait to play as
It's,
Jeff
you know,
Goldblum.
stuff like that.
Oh man, so there you go. If you've had Rise of the Tomb Raider on your shelf for a while, there's a large new content drop coming with some interesting little gameplay experiments for you to check out on October 11th.